started.
Okay,
Server
Terillion.
announcement.
Anyway, it's my turn to start a game with c4. Let's go ahead and put that on the board. c4, e5. So we've got a reverse Sicilian. And let's get my knight and my bishop out in the normal setup here. Oh, he's going for a fianchetto. So I will play with the Botvinnik setup again. Put the pawn on e4. And bring my knight out to e2. And see where we go from here. He may be playing for a quick d5. Pawn to d5, I take, he takes, I take, knight takes, knight takes. Queen takes. No, I've got the bishop on it, so it's prevented at the moment. And this knight move. So is the knight coming into c5 or b4? And is it a problem? Let's play this move here, defending the center, so my pawn doesn't come under any sudden attack. Open up a line for my bishop. Yeah, he goes there. So let's get my bishop out. See if he wants to play h6. He does. And let's see, if I drop back here, he can play knight to g4 is always annoying, hitting the bishop again. Okay, so now he goes there. Oh, yeah, he's brought an extra pawn to defend the center. He brought an extra piece to defend the center when he rerouted his knight to c7. So now I'm not winning a pawn here by taking. Knight takes, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. So I don't want to take. Let's get the queen off that d file and attack the h pawn. If he takes on e5, e4, I can take with a pawn. It's well enough defended. He's not defending h6. Is there some weird trap here? I don't see it. This is a show me move. If you're going to play like that, you got to prove. Prove you can get away with it. Okay, he's just playing that way. Okay, I have to trade off the bishop before the queen gets chased away from that diagonal, which might happen. And it seems like I just won a pawn. So how to continue? Maybe queen d2, rook to c1 to counter his rook. There's always going to be this trade. I can't come out to e3 because of the pawn fork, right? So watch out for that. Where else do I want to go? Maybe queen over to e1. Clear the c file for the rook. Clear the c1 square for the rook. Get the queen off the d file. I still plan to just take back with the pawn here, I think, if he takes. And then maybe I'll get in the push f5. That's an idea here. Okay, he's going to try and use the open h file. Very interesting. Let's play something here. What should I play? I was thinking of h4 immediately. I guess I should. That the pawn is going to be weak. I kind of want to play f4 and maybe lift my king up somehow. Okay, so he goes for that closing of the center. Guess I'm going to reroute back to d2. And okay, he's going to poke at the h3 square. He can play bishop there. He can put a knight on g4. He's ignoring those ideas for the moment while they're in the position and pushing on the queen side. So I wanted to get the rook on an open file here. And then I'm going to try and play f5. f5 pawn takes, knight takes. He has no immediate pressure on my g-pawn. The queen also defends it. And it weakens his d-pawn if he takes. And I'm feeling a bit cramped here, so let's see. I need to expand a little bit, but let's see what his plan is. You know, I was thinking he should be playing something like knight to g4. Yeah, not a bad move. Thing is, he's threatening to come into this square. Very annoying. So now f4 would be a terrible idea because of knight e3. And yeah, I really don't have much space. So how can I chase this knight away? Yeah, I'm just real crowded over here. So maybe I need to trade off a piece first. Let's see, if I place the bishop here and he takes on f2, for example, I take his bishop hitting the queen. And he doesn't have any great discovered attacks. No, he does have. He has the attack of knight takes d3. Let's think about this. Bishop here, knight takes f2, bishop takes bishop, knight takes d3, hitting my queen. I take his queen, he takes my queen, I take the knight. So I get a queen and a knight and a bishop. Yeah, I come out ahead. That is all okay for me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That may have been impetuous, but I need to do something here in this position. Otherwise, I'm just getting overly crowded on the king side here. I need to be able to lift my king up, get a rook to the h file quickly. And maybe now he's starting to calculate his tactics, see if he can win material. Yeah, he has bishop to h3, wins the exchange here. Yeah, why not? Why not play that way? Let's defend that pawn. So that'll be 2 pawns for the exchange, so it's not the end of the world. But my king is looking very shaky here. Like pawn takes, queen here, check. I have to block. Well, I could block with the queen. So let's bring the knight in this way. Do I want to bring the knight in or the queen in? There's still pawn takes, queen here, check. Which is kind of annoying, but I can block with the queen. Okay, I'll take with the queen. That's the better piece to take with anyway, I think. Keep the knights more active and keep the back rank open so I can bring a rook over potentially. Yeah, so he didn't exchange first, he just went there directly. Okay, I kind of want to lift the king. But his rook can come in here. Yeah, this is very tricky. Okay, so queen up. Maybe he can place a piece, maybe the queen on h3. If I go queen to f2, or queen to g2 maybe. Queen to g2, king to f2, rook to h1. That's the idea to unwind here. He has 2 rooks though. I only have 1. Okay, but he's not playing that way. He's going for the pawns, maybe. So if I push this pawn forward, what does it do? It takes that pawn, I guess. If I don't push the pawn forward, I take. Queen has to move. Oh, we took that rook, okay. Yeah, that's good. That distracts my knight from defense of that pawn. If I take, he takes with the queen now, and that's with check. So I have to bring this guy back. Yeah, I didn't notice that it opened up. Let's see. When did I make that mistake? Oh, when he moved his knight. I didn't register that these guys were facing each other, so that move was probably should have been more carefully calculated. Okay, what's he going to play here, though? He could just grab the G pawn on the pawn on G5. Let me have the F pawn. He stays. Let's see. It'd be one pawn for the exchange zone. I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 against 3 over here, and 1 on 1 here, and 2 knights against a rook and a knight.
Check.
Probably pretty good for black. Let's see if I take with the queen. He's got the check. No. Take with the queen. Queen takes. He grabs this pawn at the end, and then it'll be 4 on 4. Yeah, so he's just up the exchange at that point. If I take with the knight, maybe this has some tactical ideas. There's knight here, check, hitting the king. His queen is loose where it is.
Check.
Got to use those knights if you can. Okay, and if he plays that way... Oh, darn. He's got queen to e3 check. Let's see. So knight f3, queen e3, king goes to f1 is the only square. And then what? You can check me on the back rank and start picking up pawns. So I should move the king, I guess. Or I could interpose the queen. If I interpose the queen, he can bring the rook to the second rank. That would be annoying. So I move the king, I guess. Yeah, my position is pretty shaky, I have to admit.
Check.
We'll see if I survive this. I don't especially want to move my knights anymore. I want to keep them active. Okay, so I get this check.
Check.
Although that had the drawback that it took one of the defenders off of this square. And let's see, my queen is still hanging. My pawn is not hanging, though. Let's see what he wants to do here. Rook to the first rank is covered by the queen. Rook to the second rank, I'll probably take his queen. Oh, What the heck? Oh, my queen was hanging, his queen was hanging. Okay, both our queens are hanging. I could have taken his queen, though, right away. And defended my
Check.
queen with the knight. So maybe that would have been better. Well, we'll see. So it's 2 knights against knight and rook, and I still have maintained my extra pawn. That'll be an interesting position to look at with the chess end and see what the heck was going on there. He grabs that pawn, and I can grab this one. He can grab that one. Still, I got to grab as many pawns as I can, and also hope that his king ends up, his knight rather, ends up a little bit offside. But I guess he can always attack on the second rank there. Yeah, like if I go over to defend the pawn, he has the check on the second rank. So what can I play here to cause trouble? Let's let's defend that pawn. He has check and take. Check, knight f2 check. I can go after his pawns, I guess. Go after his pawns some more. 2 knights against a knight and a rook. The 2 knights are pretty clumsy. It's hard to work with them. He also has just rook down to the second rank here to hit my a pawn. I'm going to try and get rid of all the pawns and get into some kind of drawn endgame with knight versus rook. That's the best strategy here, unless I have a pawn that I can threaten to queen. But his king is in a good spot to stop my... This is where my majority is. I have 2 pawns against 1 over here. So I have ideas of sacking one to get the other one through, but his king is right there. What he's thinking. Let's see, what has he got besides rook a2? Yeah, rook h2, rook h1, I'll step forward and attack his knight. In most moves, I'm going to step forward and attack his knight. And I'm not sure what he's thinking about. Maybe, how many other moves are there? He can move his knight to b4 and attack my a-pawn that way. He could check here, I step up. Oh, yeah, he wants to check and win a pawn, but then I can attack his knight. So, but just knight check, knight to f2 check seems clearly superior. I don't see anything wrong with that. Knight f2 check, king moves up, knight takes pawn, king moves up again, and then the knight goes somewhere, maybe over here. Just has to make sure it's not getting trapped, but it seems unlikely I can trap the knight in the middle of the board. Okay, how long has he been thinking? Maybe he got disconnected. Okay, there he goes. He goes after the pawn. Okay, so I'm going to attack the knight. If he takes the pawn, I take the knight, defending my knight. Well, my knights are defended anyway, so he defends his knight. And let's see, well, I can block here. And why not? Why not chase his knight away from that annoying square where it is? Goes that way. Okay, so let's I guess push this pawn one step forward. He can go there attacking that pawn. What can I attack? I could just go back this way. That guards us, the knights, and it guards this square from which he would attack that pawn.
Check.
Oh, I left that hanging. Ah, yeah, it's tough. Life is tough sometimes. Let's see. So he has this check and this check. If I come forward, yeah, I still want to activate the king. Let's get my king forward and go after these pawns. Yes, checks here and here. I'm still going to walk forward and attack these pawns. Yeah, I guess my pawns were too weak, but I somehow probably could have done a better job of defending them. probably helps me, right? That'll provoke some exchanges. And now, well, maybe he's counting on my king being offsides over here. Probably true. Can he win, though?
Check.
So knight here, knight there. Okay, so he's attacking this knight. But this knight is not under attack, so I'm free to move this guy. Let's see, if he moves a pawn forward and I take, he can fork my two knights, so I actually can't take it right away. Okay, so there's this move here. Defends my knight, attacks his rook. So he can come in with the check to attack my king. Look at the time. Look at the time. It's a tough position. Ah, it's weird. He just gave up the rook. Well, I'm glad to know he's not infallible.
Black resigns.
Okay, wow, crazy escape from that game. I will upload this into a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.